Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, welcome to another market open stream. Welcome to Monday, another fresh week. And I am back at my usual location. And today we got to talk about some not so good news. There is inflation reading from Buffett, although we do have a golden cross signal. So what does that mean for Bitcoin and crypto? Let's talk about everything that's going on today and what to look forward to this week. This is a big week for markets. So let's talk about what to expect. All right, let's do it, guys. Welcome. Oh, this is cut off. We are starting out the day at 94,000. Slightly lower than yesterday, about 200 points lower than yesterday. Although today the U.S. market is not looking so good. So you could see the U.S. market is starting out minus 220 for Dow, minus 151 for NASDAQ. So overall, we're not doing very well today to start the week. Now, a lot of you guys, some of you guys, not a lot, maybe some of you guys watched my Sunday cruise video since I couldn't walk yesterday. You know that I said this week, probably leading up until Wednesday, going to be a little volatile because we do have this, okay, FOMC. Whenever we do have FOMC, tend to be either stagnant or volatile. It's one or the other, okay? We never really see pumping. We never really see like huge upwards movement before FOMC meeting because for the most part, all traders are worried about what may come out of these meetings, right? Even though right now it's predicted that there's basically a 0% chance that we will get a Fed rate cut here in the U.S., traders want to know what he has to say, what Powell is going to say about the remaining of this year. We're almost halfway through this year already. Time is flying. Time is really flying, right? So right now we have 1.8% chance, which is basically zero. Now, if you're looking at June, unfortunately, and I warned you guys this yesterday, it would really be unfortunate if we don't even get a rate cut in June now because markets actually has been coming up and hasn't been doing that bad, and economic numbers haven't been that bad. So now the chance of a rate cut in June has fallen to 33%. It was like 60-something%. So if we don't get one in June, we may have to wait until July. And that's when you see now it's at 55%, right? So that is what people are looking forward to, hearing from Powell to see, are we still going to get two cuts? And when is the next one? It's not like he's going to say specifically, oh, we're going to cut next meeting or something like that. But generally speaking, leading up to FOMC meeting, we always have, volatility. That's the name of the game. But besides FOMC meeting, we do have several earnings from tech sector, from like just regular consumer sector. There are a lot of other earnings that normally isn't that important, but since we're talking about inflation, we're talking about the economy, traders will be looking at what they're forecasting, basically, what they will be saying about what they're thinking the economy will be like the remainder of this year, right? So a lot of stuff coming this week. Doesn't mean that's bad. Doesn't mean it's going to be bad at all. Just saying, a lot of stuff coming this week. Retailers, I should say, are now urging shoppers to buy more before tariffs raise prices. That's interesting. It's a good strategy too, but you just don't know what to buy at this point in time. Because yeah, those tariffs, those nasty tariffs are still in place. In fact, I saw this. This is the latest thing that's going to get a tariff. If you're going to be producing a movie and the movie is outside the US, you will get 100% tariff. Supposedly, according to Trump, Hollywood is dying, and that is the reason why we need to put tariffs on movies now. So any movie made outside the US, if they're coming into the US, will now get 100% tariff. So even movies will be tariffed now going forward. That's kind of crazy. I didn't know Hollywood was struggling. I really didn't know that at all. Anyways, moving forward, we got some Warren Buffett stuff to talk about. Warren Buffett says the U.S. government is running unsustainable deficits, and this is amid very substantial inflation. Okay, I think we all know this. This is the reason why most of us are in Bitcoin. At least those of us that understand Bitcoin, why we continue to hodl, is because we know that we can't rely on governments, not just the US government, any government around the world, to fix the issues at hand, which is fiat and inflation and irresponsible spending, deficits, all these things, all these economic woes will never really go away. Despite new politicians coming in, making big promises, trying to change things, or at least projecting an image that they're trying to change things, nothing really ever gets done, okay? Because it's too big of a problem. That's why fiat currencies always fail. After about 200 years, every currency on the planet always fails. It just collapses upon itself because of irresponsible spending and deficits and overprinting and hyperinflation every single time. If you just look at history, it repeats over and over and over again. And that is why we go through these recession periods. We go through government bailouts. And that is why Bitcoin exists. Bitcoin was created to go against these things. And that's why over the past 15 years, Bitcoin has become stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger, which is why the price has been going up and why so many are adopting it now and why there's major adoption, because more and more people recognize as a hedge against inflation and as a real store of value, right? Warren Buffett still does not recognize Bitcoin, but he's one of those guys that know that, hey, if you hold a boatload of cash, and that's the only thing you hold long term, it's not going to be good. He does hold a lot of cash at certain times when he believes that there's going to be a recession because he wants to buy at low prices. He does that all the time. But he definitely puts the cash at work because he also knows we have inflation. We have a lot of inflation. We have a lot of problems with our government, right? And he does believe that inflation is not going to go away. And the tariffs right now is probably going to cause more. But here's the thing, how it relates to Bitcoin now is that he is retiring. Well, at least he's not CEO. So he announced that he's stepping down as CEO. He will become chairman, but basically he's off on the day-to-day duties. He's not going to be in charge of investments of Berkshire Hathaway. So whoever the new person is coming in, okay, maybe a Bitcoiner, maybe buying Bitcoin under Berkshire Hathaway, right? So even though it may be too late for Warren Buffett to buy Bitcoin or turn into a Bitcoin bull. But hey, doesn't mean Berkshire Hathaway forever will be against Bitcoin. I mean, he fits, I mean, his ethos, I guess, right? Or Berkshire's ethos. I mean, basically fits the bill, and maybe they will turn. Maybe they will turn just like everyone else that has now turned a corner and has done a 180 and now has become a Bitcoiner. Maybe that will happen by the end of this year when he steps down and a new CEO comes in. We will see. There's a chance. There's always a chance. So that's big. All right, what else is going on? Well, speaking of others that have been buying, last week we ended up with massive inflows, mostly from BlackRock. So on Friday, we ended up with 675 million ETF inflow, all from one fund, BlackRock. The day before, 351 million, day before 267 million, 260. You notice a pattern. Even though a lot of these funds had outflows, you can see the red, BlackRock has been accumulating for some time now. And they've been accumulating more and more and more. And it's not natural, right? It's not just Wall Street buying and selling. It's themselves buying. It makes a lot of sense. You could see that BlackRock is buying with other ETFs, buying their own Bitcoin ETFs through their other new ETFs. That's why you see massive inflows with just their ETF, right? Larry Fink is definitely a big Bitcoin bull now. He is buying up as much as he can, kind of like Saylor. It's like a big competition now. Maybe not for good reasons. Maybe not like Saylor doing it for the good of Bitcoin. Larry Fink probably just wants to control Bitcoin like he controls everything else. But you know what? Short term, it's going to help us because he's just taking more Bitcoin out of circulation. But that's exactly what's happening. BlackRock is buying more and more Bitcoin and coming out with more Bitcoin ETFs or ETFs in general and just buying more Bitcoin ETFs with it. And it's just a continuous cycle, more and more and more and more. And Saylor, of course, does not want to lose that race. And Saylor just announced he bought another $180 million worth of Bitcoin. Again, Michael Saylor strategy seems to have endless amount of money every single week. There's just like the prior week or 2 weeks ago, he just purchased a 1.2 billion. It's like 180 million seems like very small for him, but it's $180 million. Anyways, so now he holds 555,000 Bitcoin, acquired for $38 billion. Average price at 68,550. It's quite amazing. Quite amazing. Saylor doing his part. I mean, just keep in mind, guys, there's only so many out there, right? I mean, there's not that much to go around. And these guys are buying hundreds of millions or billions every week. Even though it's OTC, there's only the supply. There's just that much. So you have all the retail selling to these big boys, these big institutions, and it's no good. It's no good. Also, today, Scott Bessent is going to announce something or some things about the strategic Bitcoin reserve. Okay. There's a couple things. And one is like there's supposed to be a government audit from all the agencies in terms of all their crypto holdings. There's that. And then also he's supposed to like name like how the government is, supposed to secure the Bitcoin, like the custody service and all the things around that. And he may be announcing ways to acquire more Bitcoin. Some of the advisors like Bo Hines have been saying that maybe they use the tariff money to buy Bitcoin. I think Bassett himself have said that maybe they could issue bonds to buy Bitcoin. There's been like talks about how the U.S. government can buy more Bitcoin, right? Maybe he's going to be saying something like that today too. We just don't know. It could be something big. I mean, if there's something huge, some kind of plan to announce like a schedule of acquiring Bitcoin going forward for the U.S., right? Some kind of plan. It would be absolutely huge today. So we will see. I don't know when any of this is going to be announced, but it's going to be sometime today. So it was good. Outside of that, we always have other good stuff. You got a new whale that just purchased $48 million worth of Bitcoin, bought it on Binance, and withdrew it. Stuff like this happens all the time. Just an example of whales. There are a lot of whales out there that continue to accumulate. Okay, so again, save some for yourself. Don't let all the whales and the institutions and even Saylor grab up all the Bitcoin. It may seem like you can't make any money from Bitcoin, but Bitcoin, I like to remind you guys, has been the best performer of this cycle. It has been really hard to outperform Bitcoin. Even the alts, like in my DCA portfolio, I don't think anything in my DCA portfolio has outperformed Bitcoin this cycle. And we know Bitcoin is nowhere near top of this cycle or top of any cycle in the future because it's scarce. And as more adoption happens, the price will keep on going up. 100,000 is certainly not the top for Bitcoin. It will continue to keep going and going and going and going. So acquire those sats. Even fractional Bitcoin will be worth a lot more in the future than it will be now. So that's why these guys continue to accumulate. That's why we all should continue to accumulate as much as we can. It's a game of accumulation, basically. Okay, that's how it's always been. You got to focus long-term, not short-term. It's always been a long-term game for Bitcoin. Network activity hits a 6-month high. Obviously, a 100K breakout right around the corner. I mean, we were a little bit higher last week, yes, at 97,000. We're around 94,000. Yes, we went down a little bit, but overall, we're in the 90s. Let's not forget, just 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, a month ago, we were hovering the low 80s. Okay, so we have come up quite a lot. And from where we are to 100K is less than 10%. Really easy to break out to 100K. But like I said, this is nowhere near top. Nowhere near top. Even from a technical perspective, we're looking at a golden cross soon. This is on a 1-week scale. We may be forming that golden cross soon. And the last time we formed that golden cross, really good things happened. That was back in September, and that's when we really started moving up, right? Do we have to wait all the way until September before we get that huge leg up? I don't think so, because I think that the next big push will be that quantitative easing. It's either June or maybe July now, depending on when we get the next rate cut. But it's all aligning right around there. So it's going to happen. And how high will it push us? Who knows? No one knows. No one knows how high we will go this cycle, but it's going to be a lot higher than where we are now. That's a certainty for sure. All right. Outside of Bitcoin and all this macro stuff, what else is there? I saw this. EU will ban anonymous crypto transactions by 2027. This is part of the AML reform. So privacy coins like Monero and Zcash, which I don't hear a lot about anymore, they exist, but most exchanges already delisted them. But there's other crypto that does have privacy features you could turn on. I don't know if they will be affected. But, in 2 years, if you're living in the EU, you will not be able to use crypto that has anonymous transactions. So just keep that in mind. This also is the reason why stable coins are becoming so hot. In the US, we're making a big push on stable coins. In other parts of the world, there are CBDCs coming out and also stable coins, right? Part of the reason is because the government wants to track your transactions. To track transactions on a blockchain is a lot easier than tracking physical money. So all this push into stablecoins may seem like a good thing because we're all in crypto, but you got to know their intentions are not that great. They want actually more tracking and less privacy by moving everyone to stablecoins rather than cash. Just think about that. All right, last two things. Van Eck files for BNB ETF. So another crypto that may be getting their own ETF. I think BNB will probably get it because they're huge. They're one of the big caps. They've been around since 2017, 2018, and they will probably get it. And Binance also partners with Kyrgyzstan to launch crypto payments and blockchain education and a national crypto reserve. They're going to have a national crypto reserve of BNB. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. All right. That's pretty much it. Today, MicroStrategy not doing too good. We also have a Coinbase earnings later this week, I think on Thursday. So MicroStrategy not off to a good start. Coinbase, so-so. Robinhood not doing too good today. So today's profit taking day, or you could say leading up to FOMC. There's going to be volatility. Bitcoin is 93.7, a little bit lower than yesterday. All right, let's do some Q&A. Sui came back pretty strong from yesterday. Sol doing pretty good too. All right, let's do some Q&A. Oh, whoa, what happened there? All right. Whew. Feels like it's been a while since I did one of these lives. It's always fun to go to Dubai and come back. The flight is never fun. Adjusting the time difference is never fun, but it's fun to visit. What do you think about Grok? If you're talking about the meme coin, I don't like it. Ryan asked, do I still like VET? Sure. I don't have anything against them. I don't really hear anything new from them that I really like. They're really like betting all on the better thing. It's just not for me. Have I heard of ZBCN? No, I have not. Why don't I hold some Monero? Well, because of this. And because all exchanges have basically delisted it. And all the government trying to clamp down on it. Basically, I have nothing against it. But it's just going to really be hard to make money from it. Or to even trade it. Because everyone's trying to ban anonymous crypto projects. Robert, what do you want to know about Algorand? JB, are you in any trades? I've been successfully trading Sui. I mean, you know, when Sui makes its moves, it tends to move pretty well. Oh, look at that. Pretty good bump up. So I've been trading Sui recently and been pretty successful at it. Recently, I traded all the way up to like 370. I saw it came down, you know. I had to exit my positions and then re-entered recently. And like a few days ago at like 330. I think it was just yesterday. So Sui's been pretty good to trade. Others been kind of weak. Juice Master, no, he's not. Landstalker, you know, you could say what you want about Buffett, okay? And I know a lot of Bitcoin guys hate on Buffett because he'll never turn to Buffett. I mean, he'll never turn to Bitcoin, which is true. The guy's worth like $100 billion. So you can never take that away from him. And he's stepping down. So who knows if the next CEO will start buying Bitcoin. And you know what? And he recognizes that inflation is a real problem. Deficit is a real problem. And those are things that Bitcoiners have been saying and recognizing for a while. So, you know, we're basically eye to eye on a lot of things. He just refuses to recognize Bitcoin, which is fine. He's just too old to recognize Bitcoin. But he recognizes the same problems that we do, same problems that our government and every government really has. So that's fine. Who knows? The new CEO may be buying some Bitcoin. Is there a deadline on Sol ETF? No, I haven't seen any like deadlines pass. We got a lot of pending ETFs. Sol ETF should be coming right around the corner. I bet Sol's spot ETF and XRP's spot ETF gets approved at the same time. They both have futures-based ETFs now. That's usually a first thing that comes out before spot. So I think both are going to come out soon. And then the others will follow. How do you feel about Token 2049 in Dubai? Man, it's the same venue as last time. It was impossible to get in, impossible to get out. It was good. It's really, really, really crowded. I met some good people, some good projects in there. I met a project. You know how I've always complained, no matter what, with cold wallets, hot wallets, any wallets in general, doesn't matter how secure the front end is. The back end, which is the seed phrase, there hasn't been a good solution for it. I got stopped in Token by this team, and they're like, hey, George, I got something that will really amaze you. I'm like, that's really hard to do. And they showed me a solution that safely secures the seed phrase and encrypts it and decrypts it all within the app without hitting the cloud or without touching any chain or anything like that. And it's probably one of the best solutions I've ever seen. You know, so like stuff like that, you just never really hear about. You only meet in person, and they caught me. So it's one of the reasons why I go. And I just meet fans and, you know, and check things out. I would say at Token in the exhibit hall, there wasn't that many like big projects there. I saw Aptos there and a whole bunch of exchanges, but I didn't see other major projects represent. I actually like Sui Basecamp a lot more. There were a lot more like projects in the exhibit hall at Sui Basecamp than Token, but there were definitely a lot more people at Token. It was a crazy amount of people there. Look at that. Dream thoughts on OM? Why would we be asking about OM? When a project can fall like 96% overnight, you stay away from it. That's it. Really that simple. Milkshake memory. Yes. Yes, he is. I don't know what time. I already discussed it. I don't know. You know, if he announces, there are a couple things he's going to say. If he announces any kind of plans on buying, that'll be the biggest thing. But he's supposed to talk about some audit, how they're going to secure the Bitcoin, and maybe he talks about how they're going to acquire more. That's what's more interesting. What are your thoughts on rates going lower in 2025? When do you expect them? The problem is the U.S. market has been rallying for the last 2-3 weeks. So that actually pushes our chance of a rate cut. The first one, or the next one, I should say, to July now. So I don't know. The way this is priced in, CME prediction, I think says we have like 3. So I think that's why, you know, everyone wants to hear what Powell says. And I already know what he's going to say. I mean, I've heard so many. He's going to say that he can't make any decision. He needs more clarity on the tariffs. He did say before that he has to choose between saving jobs and saving inflation, and he doesn't have to do that right now. He doesn't have to save jobs. The economy is actually doing okay, and unemployment just came out, and it was still holding at 4.2%. So he has to save inflation. And by saving inflation, you don't cut. You're actually supposed to raise rates, which he's not going to do at this point. Like, there's no way in hell he's going to raise rates at this point. But certainly he doesn't need to cut either. So that's the fear. If we have new numbers, new inflation numbers come out, and they are like skyrocketing due to tariffs, I wonder if he's still going to do those 2 rate cuts that he said he was going to do. That's the worst case scenario. If inflation readings start coming out and it shows inflation ticking up in a big way, that would be the ultimate disaster, I guess. Do I still believe Sol will go to 1,000 this cycle? Yeah. Yeah, I still do. I don't believe, I think especially with someone like Sol, because they're going to get their own spot ETF. I think that's going to help them quite tremendously. I think all the alts that get their spot ETFs, and you know, when the market heats up again and memes get hot again, still all go beyond Sol. So I think they definitely could. I think Bitcoin is definitely going to still lead the way. So considering all those things, I think it still could happen. I think this cycle is just going to be very different for alts. It's not going to be like everything going up like previous cycles. Very selective few will do very, very well. I think memes will continue to do very, very well. When the market gets hot again, all these memes that are down, they will skyrocket back and new memes will do well. But a lot of these mid caps, small caps, they may struggle for a while or maybe forever. They may not even see their previous high. Rightus. If you're asking that question, then you haven't been through a bear market. If you lived through any previous bear markets, you would not be asking that question. What happened with ETH? I think you can answer your own question, okay, with ETH. You just have to think about what happened with ETH and what's happening with ETH. I mean, it's quite simply, its market share and its dominance is being eaten by others. That's really it. That's really it. Crypto CJ says, I still believe XRP will be 8 to 10 this cycle. Yeah, I don't think that's unreasonable. I think XRP will be the first one to flip ETH. And can I get to $8? I think $8 is a little far-fetched, but I think it's more reasonable, like $6, $6 to $8. I don't know about 10, but I do think there's a chance. But I do think it'll flip ETH. I think by the end of the cycle, it'll be Bitcoin, XRP, and Sol as the top three. That's the order. And then probably BNB 4. And I don't know what's gonna be 5. Maybe Sui will be 5th. Sui is coming up like crazy. It'll be nuts if they actually become number 5 on CMC. But, you know, you got Cardano, you got Tron and Doge, and you got Chainlink. You got a lot of big caps up there, too. What about AVAX? I still like AVAX. Just not, you know, they're still pushing forward. Just gaming is just not really hot right now. They're very heavy into gaming, and gaming is not too hot right now. That's the only thing. Man, you know what I was really disappointed with last week is with the Lakers. Man, I couldn't believe that they lost in 5 games. At least they should have pushed it to 6. But last game where they allowed Rudy Gobert to dominate, that's embarrassment. It's such embarrassment. Luka just can't play defense. He has all the offense in the world, but everyone now recognizes he just can't play any defense. He needs to drop some weight. No matter how good he is at offense, he's just too slow and he can't jump. He needs to drop some weight this offseason. LeBron needs to get him to train hard, drop like 20 pounds and really work on defense. So people can't just blow by him every single time. Yeah, I mean, Luka has all the skills in the world. Even though he is I mean, if you look at his rookie season or first 3 seasons, he's so much skinnier than now. I mean, he's not fat, obviously, but like for an NBA player, he is definitely overweight. For his position and size, he's definitely overweight. If he'd like drop 20 pounds, it would do him like wonders in terms of his speed and quickness and even his hops. Before he could dunk like easily. Now he like it seems like he can't even dunk. Our only chance is to get a good center in the off season. Mavs did not make the right decision. No matter what, trading Luka for AD is the right decision. AD, no matter what, is like glass. He's Mr. Glass. You can't rely on him. He never plays more than like 30 games a season. So no matter how good AD is, you got to trade him. Oh, I forgot. Yeah. Giannis is probably going to go to Lakers next year. That would be nuts. If Lakers get Giannis next year, it's over. And that'll probably happen. Because Giannis wants to win. They just need to trade. They need to trade AR and like 3 draft picks, and then give them, I don't know, some other players, and then get Giannis. Yeah, Luka just needs to get in shape. That's all it is. I mean, he has motivation now. He got embarrassed in the playoffs. He has real motivation. He can learn from LeBron's work ethics, and he could come out a changed man next year. If he still doesn't, then that's just the way he is. All right, guys. On that note, we'll end it. Well, we got a lot of stuff happening. There's always a lot of stuff happening. We got FOMC meeting later this week, a lot of earnings, but we always have inflation woes. Buffett is warning everyone about it. But we got Bitcoin. So stay strong, my friends. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for my video tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I will see you guys later. Have a good one. Take care.